Hi. Okay, so we've spoken about constructions and we've spoken about how to examine them critically, but now we're going to consider them from a reflexive point of view. So because we're examining the social world, we don't just look at it from the outside. We're actually players in these constructions. We can study them, but we move with them as well. We don't just analyze society, we are part of society. And so each of us, you, me, whoever's in the next room, our teachers, our mayor, and so on, we all have a social position. Reflexivity is about having an awareness that we are actors in these constructions and to have self-awareness to look at this critically. Now, I'd like to draw the distinction between reflexivity and reflection. Reflective practice is an important part of teaching, to recount, to look back at our practices and our experiences, to reflect upon them, analyze them for future practice. But reflexivity is different. Reflexivity is a process of analysis that involves situating ourselves in our social contexts, looking at which features of our identity may have played roles in our experiences. So I'm looking for you to think about your personal and structural vantage points, your beliefs, your values, your assumptions, your biases, your social and professional identity positions, and so on. All of these aspects from which you approach your understanding of social difference and your identity as an educator in a very diverse world. So the premise underlying reflexivity is that the ways in which society has been constructed actually affect our life experiences. That our paths haven't just been a result of our choices and our actions, but by our position in society in relation to the constructs all around us. So while we might walk through life together, depending on whether we go through life as, for example, male, female, non-conforming, questioning, we might have very different lived experiences of very similar situations. I mean, a male elementary school teacher, an Indigenous university student, an elementary student whose first language is not English. These are all examples of very different or very potentially different life experiences. These dimensions may include race, where we live in the world, the languages that we speak, social class, gender, and so on and so on and so on. So reflexivity is essentially about self-awareness and should involve an understanding and an insight into our own position, the roles we play, and our relationships with teaching, learning, and education. So we think about our beliefs, our worldviews, our assumptions, and we think about how these affect our place in society and how we see the world. Practicing reflexivity helps us to recognize these potential differences, not just for ourselves, but for others, for our colleagues, and for our students. Because all of these features, these beliefs, these experiences, and these aspects of our identity are connected to power. Some of these aspects grant us advantages, others disadvantages. Reflexivity helps us recognize that many social constructions are inherently discriminatory. And how clearly and fully we can recognize the social constructions all around us and the effect that they've had on our lives is a sign of how reflexive we are able to be.